Hi there, my name is Memo. This is my channel, Houseplanty Goodness, and essentially this is a place I like to geek out about my big passion, which is tropical houseplants. You might be able to see my conservatory or hothouse behind me. Before I start off really quickly on the topic, and you might be able to see the plant I want to talk about today, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, it's a good way of indicating this if you drop me a like down below. It really does help. And consider subscribing as well if you've got your own houseplant collection that is growing super fast and you want to know more about houseplants and houseplant care and possibly hear from somebody who's had some of these plants for a while now, then consider subscribing, because every week I'll bring out videos about 2 or 3 times. But yeah, anyway, moving on swiftly onto the topic of today. In today's video, I want to have a bit more update for the plant you might be able to see in front of me, and I'll bring it in a bit closer and hopefully that is focusing. This is the variegated spiral ginger. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this again today, and I'll move it around so you can kind of see it in all its glory. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because there's not an awful lot of information online about this plant. And I know it's come into the market a bit more, specifically in the UK. In recent times, it's still a slightly difficult plant to get a hold of. It doesn't ship particularly well. It tends to crisp up really quickly. And I had done another video. I think I've also posted it on here. If not, I do also have it on my Instagram. And I talked about the care that I had in this plant, and I said I was going to do an update after a while, because there's a lot more people that have come up since then in comments going, what about this? And did it work? Because I've got it and I don't know and I can't find any information. So hopefully this is useful to everybody again. So the one thing I will say about this plant is it's still as thirsty as it always has been. It's getting watered every 5 days still. It's getting fertilized every 5 days as well. And I'm getting to the point now where it does need a bit of a repot, but some of its roots tend to be a bit thinner at the moment. Some of them are chunkier that I'm seeing that are popping out, but it needs a repot, and I'm kind of avoiding it for a while. I'm probably going to have to do that in the next month or so. So yeah, water. This plant loves water. And the crisping has all gone away now. It's under direct light-ish. It's in a north-facing conservatory, and it's right at the very top, and it's getting quite a bit of daylight hours, but it's north facing, so it doesn't get that many hours of direct light, and it's doing really well. Previously, the previous video that I had, it was in my plant room in the center of the room, because it was getting as much humidity as it possibly could take, and that was even lower than it is here. So that was between 60 and 70%. Here is between 65 and 80%. So gets quite a bit of humidity on here as well. I've never tried this out in regular household humidity. If anybody has done and they want to share their experiences, drop it in the comments down below. I am sure, based on the comments that I saw from the previous video, that there are people that want to read that. So do drop it in the comments down below and share your knowledge as well. So watering, as I said, quite frequent, fertilizing quite frequent, a lot of light, and it's doing very well. Essentially, the crisping is all gone. I thought I was getting some newer stems, and I might be able to kind of rotate this around so you can see right there at the back that are coming in very straight. And I thought, oh no, the new ones are coming in quite chunky, but they're straight. But now I've started to realize in the last couple of days that the very top of those chunkier stems are starting to spiral. I'm not getting an awful lot of spiraling. It's definitely something that worried me in the beginning, but it does eventually begin to spiral. The other thing that I will say, and hopefully this might come up on the camera, and I'll see if I can bring it in a bit closer so you might be able to see between the leaves there. I don't know whether or not you might be able to see some of these really fine fibers that look like on any other plant. Let's say it's on the node. I'm not sure that it might be nodes as well. I don't think, I'm not entirely sure. As I said, there's very little on these plants, and I've only got this as a ginger in my collection. I don't think you can propagate them from a node. I think it's from a tuber, because again, they've got some tuberous roots. They've got roots and small tubers along the growing roots, essentially in the bottom of the soil, because these plants are actually related to the Maranthaceae family, so the prayer plants. And with prayer plants, a little bit of a side note, just because I like to geek out, and this might be something that a lot of people know. Arrowroot, which is a thickening agent that you use for cooking, generally for baking, is actually from the same family as the calathea, and the stromanthe, the tenanthe, all of the prayer plants that we've got in the household that are quite ornate, and even the gingers as well. So that's a really interesting thing. The other thing as well to note is that some of the indigenous people around the tropical regions where these plants will grow, even some of the kind of more traditional calathea, tenanthe, stromanthe, they do actually use some of these tubers to eat. Essentially, I know that there's a specific way of preparing them because they need to get rid of possibly some toxins. I'm not entirely sure. But they do use it in cooking, which is really cool. There's not a lot of house plants that we have in our collection that you could say they're also edible. Probably not all the ones that we have in our collections are edible. This is not an edible ginger as far as I'm aware. That's a different type of ginger, but definitely a very, very cool plant. If you can find one of these in a shop, I would highly recommend though you go physically into that shop. I know for a lot of places the restrictions from COVID are slowly easing at the moment. Go and pick up this from the plant store yourself rather than getting it delivered. You can get it delivered, as I said, they don't ship particularly well. So as long as you're comfortable with some of the plant coming in and being crispy, it does bounce back. This was relatively crispy when I picked up. Then I'd say do that over getting them delivered as well, just for your own peace of mind. But as I said, the crispiness isn't something permanent. You can get the plant to thrive after that bit for a while. And if you don't like some of the crispy leaves, just snip them off. It doesn't really cause much of an issue on the plant. But yeah, the spiral variegated ginger. Very cool plant and very, very happy that I have it in my collection. I think that's everything I wanted to say in this video. Hopefully it's a bit of a short and sweet one. If you've got any comments or questions, as always, please do drop a comment down below. I'd love to have that conversation. We're getting more and more people talking in the comments in a lot of my videos at the moment, and we're building a bit of a community, which I think is really cool. But yeah, in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed. Hopefully I shall see you here soon, and hopefully you have a good rest of the day. Thanks. Bye.